News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The final gubernatorial debate was Saturday. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, October the 10th, 2016. We have light rain falling throughout western Montana. Currently, it's exactly 50 degrees in Missoula. And our newscast this morning, sponsored by Selway Armory on Stockyard Road. More guns and ammo than anyone in Missoula, Montana's premier firearms dealer. Republican gubernatorial candidate Greg Gianforte painted Governor Steve Bullock as a career politician once again, willing to manipulate the truth to stay in office as the candidates faced off in their final scheduled debate. Gianforte reacted angrily Saturday night when Bullock accused the Bozeman high-tech entrepreneur of outsourcing jobs to other countries through his former company, Right Now Technologies. Gianforte countered, said the firm created hundreds of jobs. Bullock, for his part, offered a forceful defense of his first term during the televised debate in Great Falls. The Democrat touted the state's economic gains under his watch and cast his opponent as a threat to public education and public access to streams. There's just 1 month to go until the November 8th election. After months of attacks by their surrogates, Saturday's event offered a last chance for the candidates to face off in person before the early voting begins. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Pabst on Talkback on Friday said there's a very close connection between domestic violence and homicide in Montana.
Globally, 1 in 3 girls is assaulted by an intimate or family member over the course of their lifetime. Interestingly, in Montana, at least 1/3 of our homicides are situations where the offender and the victim were in an intimate or family relationship.
Domestic violence has been on the rise in Missoula with a number of new cases just this past week.
Here in Missoula, we've seen quite an increase in not just the number of partner-family member assault cases, but a rise in the severity. So we're seeing more felonies, more assault with a weapon, aggravated assault. 6 cases just in the last week of partner-family member assault or violence. 5 of those are felonies.
Pabst said the community of Missoula must play a crucial part in solving the tragedy of domestic violence and encourages the public to call 911 if they see or suspect abuse. In a related story, Montana has joined 20 other states in filing an amicus brief in support of 3 young human trafficking victims who filed suit against Backpage.com. On Friday, Attorney General Tim Fox said he's worked for the past 4 years to assist victims of human trafficking and to bring the perpetrators to justice.
We're asking the Supreme Court to hear the case on the merits. The First Circuit Court of Appeals held that a federal law called the Communications Decency Act precludes a civil lawsuit by the minor victims of human trafficking against Backpage.com.
Fox explains why he and other attorneys general want Backpage.com held responsible for the lives it has helped to destroy.
We believe that these individuals who've been harmed by this heinous crime should have recourse in the civil courts for damages against Backpage.com, and that's what we argue in our brief.
In 2014, Montana joined other states and territories in asking members of the Senate Judiciary Committee to support the Stop Advertising Victims of Exploitation Act to provide more oversight of websites like Backpage.com. The head of the Montana Department of Corrections says housing adult offenders at 2 youth prisons is a temporary arrangement that could be made permanent and that agency officials intend to go before the legislature to sort out legal issues. Director Mike Batista responded on Thursday to a recent legislative audit that found the department's violating state law by housing men at Pine Hills Youth Correctional Facility for boys and women at the Riverside Facility for girls. In a recent appearance on KGVO's Talkback show, University of Montana officials Paula Short and Dr. Tom Crady emphasized the ability for students to receive a science-based degree combined with humanities. Crady compared an engineering degree to a STEM degree enhanced with the humanities that can be found at UM.
I would just say that it's absolutely crazy to think that an engineering program is the end-all to be-all. A liberal arts education, you learn about how to work with people in groups. The liberal arts are the place to be. I just have to tell you that I've been doing this for 34 years.
Director of Communications for the President's Office, Paula Short, touted UM's science and technology curriculum combined with the humanities.
You can get degrees in biochemistry, biophysics, biology, forestry, chemistry, computer science, wildlife biology. I didn't even have time to highlight the entire list, but I mean, we have STEM degrees at the university. The truth of the matter is, STEM careers need liberal arts thinkers, and liberal arts thinkers need STEM thinkers as well.
Both Crady and Short said students will be more successful in any field they choose with a broad mixture of humanities and liberal arts. Gallatin County authorities say a woman has died in a highway crash involving two semis west of Belgrade. The sheriff's office said 40-year-old Sarah Wixton of Butte died at the scene of the Saturday afternoon crash on I-90. 3 people were taken to a Bozeman hospital, but their conditions have not been released. The crash remains under investigation. While some cities are celebrating Columbus Day, others are now celebrating the people he found there when he got to America with Indigenous Peoples Day. Dozens of cities across the country, including here in Missoula and in Bozeman, have proclaimed the second Monday of October a city holiday to honor Native peoples. And Marcia Spall, activist and adjunct professor at Montana State University in Bozeman, said we shouldn't call the growing holiday a trend.
I've heard through various media that it's a trend, and I would prefer to stay away from that word. It is not a trend. Let's call it an awakening. It's almost an interpretive paradox of history that Columbus is a hero. That is not so true.
At the University of Montana, Indigenous Peoples Day reconstitutes and reestablishes Columbus Day as a day that aims to recognize and commemorate the contributions of all Native people from around the world.
These lands that people are on, it would be good for them to know that history of the original inhabitants that lived there. Not just the bad things, but the good things too. To recognize the gifts, the contributions of the Indigenous peoples to those areas.
This year's Indigenous Peoples Day celebration in Missoula is a 3-day event taking place today through Wednesday, primarily on campus and also in other places around Missoula. Newstalk Times 611.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today with rain likely. Daytime highs will be in the low 50s and winds will be quite breezy. Winds will gust as high as 20 miles per hour. A chance of rain mixing with snow tonight as our overnight lows drop into the 30s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.